Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurekaCrystalBeads.com and I'm here with another fun beading tutorial for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when we're posting new content. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through making this simple and really easy design. That is the featured design from our new Beadway box. So Beadway boxes are not a subscription, they're not really a kit, but they're almost a kit because they include all of the beads that you need to make the featured design and more. But basically, this is something that I designed to make this particular design, and you can get it in this cute little box with a window, and you can get it in 3 different colorways. So these are the 3 different colorways. This one has some of the peach fuzz color, which is the color of the year according to Pantone, and some kind of teal-ish green, so it's a little bit exotic. This one I wanted to be a little bit more neutral. It has this lovely light powdery blue and some brown and some beige, and I actually do like it a lot. And look how cool they look from the side. Really nice. And for this one, I wanted something black and white, but also a little bit ethereal, and I want to have some transparent elements in it. So this one has these transparent crescents. And the fun thing about this particular design is that you can customize it in the way that there's 2 colors of crescent beads. Like you can see here, you have these green ones and the peach ones. And you can basically customize your earring or your pendant because you can make it into various different things. And you can use the crescents. You can make one with all peach ones, with all green tealish ones. For example, in here I used one color in the center and the other color around the edge, around the perimeter of the design. And in here I used the green in the middle and over here, and the peach one is just kind of an accent. So this is the one that we're going to be making today, but I also think it will look lovely if you just use the peach on the outside and the green on the inside, or if you use the peach ones in here and the green one in here and in here, that will make an X sort of in the middle. Okay, so as I said, you can make it using the beads from our Beadway boxes, which are like curated tiny little bead collections or beading kits. They just don't have any findings, so you can personalize that and you can use this design in any way you want. Also, this set contains beads for multiple of these. So what do you have in a box? As you can see, you have 2 colors of crescent beads, 1 color of GemDuos. These are regular GemDuos, not mini GemDuos. And you have 12 hole rounds in size 15 and 11. Okay, so let me just set all of this up. So, what supplies exactly are you going to need to make this sort of design? For 1 earring, you're going to need exactly 8 of the GemDuos and then 16 of the crescent beads. And then depending on what kind of pattern you want to make, whether you just want to use one of the colors on the inside and then make the entire outside the other color, or like here, actually that's the same because that's 4 of one color and 12 of the other color actually. So I'm going to be using 4 peach ones and 12 of green ones. In addition to that, of course, the 11 O's and the 15 O's. And that's it for the beads. When it comes to findings, you're going to need some earring finding, and I chose this rose gold plated ear wire with coil. It's simple enough and I like it. And depending on what kind of earring finding you choose, you might need a jump ring. Over here, I did need a jump ring because the loop that I made in here was kind of in the same direction. So if I just put the loop through the hole in the finding, that will be just on its side, which is not bad, I must admit, but I prefer it hanging facing the front. So you might need a jump ring or a bail if you want to make a little pendant. When it comes to tools, you're going to need a needle, and I think size 11 should be just fine. 12 should be alright as well. I'm not sure about 10 because there's going to be some thread passes through the 15-0s, so you might find that challenging, so maybe have a 12 ready. And you're going to need thread. I'm going to be using Fireline 6LB. Here I have black and the same in white. For this one I used black. I wonder what it would look like with white thread, but just to make it match and so that you can see more clearly what I'm doing perhaps, I'm going to be using black. Okay, I put about half a wingspan of thread on my needle. I'm not cutting it off just yet, as I typically don't do. And you're not going to need very much of it because it's not a very big design or a very complex one, but half a wingspan should be more than enough. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make this central circle over here. So I'm going to start with a 15-0, and then I'm gonna start putting on my GemDuos. One GemDuo, that is. And always remember to check the holes of your GemDuos, because if they're blocked, you may be in for an unpleasant surprise later on. So, I'm going to be making a circle like this way, because I'm left-handed. So, I want to put all my beads in a direction that they create the sort of shape that I want. So, I have my first GemDuo, then another 15-0 here, then I'll pick up a crescent, and please check the holes in these as well, and I put it like this. So actually the GemDuo is facing, if I put just let them hang, the GemDuo is facing me with the flat part. So that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to do this 4 times. So I want 4 of 15-0, GemDuo, 15-0, crescent, in this exact same position. Alright, now I have 4 of them, 4 of these sequences. As you can see, they are all facing the same direction, because now I'm going to make a circle with them like that. So I pull them all down my thread, and just to reinforce this is where my needle thread is at. I'm going to go through all of them again, just so that they have 2 threads in them, and make sure you don't miss any 15-0. And I want to end up coming out of the same crescent bead that I ended this circle with. And what I'll do now, so that it's easier later on, is I'm going to tie a knot, just a regular knot with these 2 threads here, and another one the other way around. This is so that I don't have to tie a knot in a not very comfortable place, because this is going to be like inside here, and the knot is already tied. And what I can do now is go into that next 15-0 and GemDuo, and that knot is going to hide inside the beads already, and the only thing left to do will be to trim off the tail thread. So I have that done already at this point. Now I'm reaching the crescent bead over here, and this is where I want to be. And now I'm going to step down through the other hole of the crescent, just like so. And I'm going to add GemDuos in between these crescents on the other side. So if you'll see, I can add a GemDuo over here, and it's just gonna hang out on top of the one from the previous row. But I do have to get through the right hole. So this is gonna be this one. And another 15-0, so 15-0 GemDuo 15-0. And I'm going through the other free hole of the crescent in here. This is just going to put the GemDuo on top of the previous GemDuo. That's why you need 8, because there's going to be 4 on top of another 4. Okay, again, 15-0. And I'm actually going to try to pick a more narrow 15-0 and not a very thick one. And now a GemDuo. I'm going through this hole here so that it faces me with the convex bit and not the flat side of it. 15-0, and through the second hole of the next crescent bead. Same in here and here. Okay, while I'm closing up this circle, you can see that the crescent beads are connecting the two kind of surfaces with GemDuos in there. And while I'm here, I'm going to go around that circle, all of the beads in that circle again, because as you remember, we went twice through all of the beads in the initial row. Alright, I went twice through all of these beads in here. Now I'm coming out of the GemDuo and I want to step up to the other hole of the same GemDuo. Now I'm going to connect the two GemDuos by their free holes. And go right back so that they're connected on both sides over here and over here. Maybe white thread would be better for this one. Let me know what you think. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start adding my crescent and my seed beads in here in the sequence 15-0, crescent, 11-0, crescent, 11-0, crescent, 15-0, and to the GemDuo to connect the GemDuos. Let me show you. So I'm going to start with 15-0s with a 15-0. And for this one, you might want to choose the thicker ones. Now a green crescent, and I want to position it so that it's facing the center, like this. So I'm coming out of here, so I want to go into this hole here. So as I go, this is how crescents are going to be positioned on my needle. Now an 11-0, and again I'm going to try to find a thick one like this one with toe holes. It's no problem with that. And now peach colored crescent, making sure that the holes are unobstructed. Another 11-0. Now a green crescent and a 15-0. This is our sequence, so what I have here is 15-0 crescent, 11-0 crescent, 11-0 crescent, and 15-0. And I'm going to pass through this next GemDuo over here. I'm going to go back through the other GemDuo next to it, pull tight, and go back forward through this GemDuo here, pull tight, and I'm gonna add the next sequence. So what you do is basically you add a sequence, you make a little loop, you add a sequence, you make a little loop, and you do that 4 times. Adding the last sequence here, and again coming back through the other GemDuo, but these two are already connected from the beginning when we started, so I can just go ahead and start the other side, because now we have to connect the other holes of the Crescents and the GemDuo, the other GemDuo. So what I do is this time I'm only going to be adding seed beads, because what I need to do is to just add first a 15, go through the Crescent, and I have turned over my work, mind you, so I'm working on the other side. Now an 11 through that middle one, another 11 and a 15. And with the 15, I'm passing through the GemDuo. And this is how you achieve this kind of a little bit more sturdy and all connected segment. Okay, I'm going to do this all around, because this time you don't go making loops around the second holes of the GemDuos. You just go along this row and keep adding beads. So I'm not turning back through the other GemDuo and then forward. I'm just going on with the seed beads. Okay, the last step, because it already kind of looks cute, but if you want to add another touch and somewhere to put your earring finding, you can add these little corners. So the way to do it, I'm just adding my last seed bead in this row, and I'm gonna go all the way to the other side where I have the next 15. So I'm coming out of this 15 next to the GemDuo. Okay, so I'm coming out of this 15 in here, and what I want to do is I want to add 15, 11, 15, and you can do it like a crisscross, so you can go into there, but you can also just go straight on and go through all of the beads in this sequence here until you're coming out of that last 15 in here. So I went through these crescents and the seed beads here so that I come out of this 15, and again this is the next corner, so I'm going to be adding a 15, an 11, and a 15, and you do that 4 times. Now that previous one was the last one, so this one is the last one, and I'm just going forward and going through like half of this one here until I'm coming out of the 11 that I added here on top, and I'm just casually gonna add a 15 and go into that bead and the sequence on the other side so that when I pull, let me just make sure I go through all of the beads all right, so that when I pull on it, the 11-0 kind of gets pulled in the middle, creating a sort of an X and a nice angle over here. So, and here I'm already on this side, which is the free side that doesn't have the X on it yet, so I add 1/15. I go through that 11-0 here. I add one more 15-0. And I go into that sequence of the beads on the other side. You can just go one by one, you can just go through 2 or 3 beads, however many you feel comfortable. And when you pull, you get the X. And you do the same for all the remaining corners. And when you reach this point, you'll notice that on the other side you already have a 15-0 because that's where you started. So all you need to do is add 1/15, go through the 11-0 on top here, and you get the final X, and you're in the perfect position to make a loop for your earring finding. And I'm going to attach the earring finding right away because why not? The hole is big enough to accommodate 15-0s, so I'll just pick up 5 15-0s. I'll go through the earring finding, and it doesn't matter which side because this is the same front and back, so it's double-sided, wow. And I just make a loop around the 11-0 over here, like this. And I'm basically ready. I'll just go through this loop 2 more times to make sure it's sturdy. I'm gonna go down this 15-0 over here. And this is where I'll make my loop. This is where I'll make my knot. So I just go under some thread, make a loop, pull it down, make another loop, put my needle through it, pull it down, and there's my knot. I just need to hide it in some beads. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is, of course, scissors. You're going to need them to cut off the excess thread. And for the tail thread, as I told you, we already made a knot and hid it in the beads, so I just have to trim the excess. And we're done! Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. I did my best to explain it as easy as this design really is, because once you get it, you'll be making these by the dozen. And you can make earrings out of these, you can make pendants out of them, you can do various other things out of them, and we'll link down below both the Beadway box and our Facebook group, the Beader's Nook, where you can share your photos. And if you make a version of your own with a different configuration of the beads, also don't forget to share. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know if you could use a pattern and written instruction for this, and see you in the next one. Bye!